Alright. Cool. I'm here with Scott-Vargas and Paulo Vitor Damo da Rosa. Say hi, guys. Cool. You guys are both members of Team Channel Fireball, and you have brought a fairly standard staple to the format.
Counterbalance. I mean, we played it at Chicago, and we took out, one color and added another.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, why don't you explain to people who aren't familiar with Legacy what exactly Counterbalance is in terms of a deck?
An enchantment that costs 2 blue, or is that not what you're looking for?
Yeah.
Just a control deck. It's supposed to use Counterbalance top to make your opponent pretty much unable to cast spells.
Okay. So beyond, that's Counterbalance is only one color. You've got, most of the decks tend to run, 2 or 3 colors. A lot of them dip into white for like Swords to Plowshares, or dip into like red for Fire Spout or some other stuff. Obviously you picked it because you thought it was the best deck in the format, or the best deck for the metagame, correct?
It doesn't have to be the best deck, but it has game against all the decks.
Okay.
You can't really name a deck and think that we have no chance in the matchup.
Okay.
Most decks, there's at least something.
On a scale of 1 to 10, about how difficult would you say the deck is to play?
7 or 8?
7 or 8?
I thought it was easier, but then I started playing. Okay. I guess 8's probably. Like if Paulo said it, you haven't difficulty playing, like we've been playing this deck for like 2 years.
Yeah.
This is like the 4th tournament you played it, or 3rd tournament you played it.
Yeah, like every Legacy tournament I've played since Slash, I've played.
Excellent.
There's so many small decisions, like when to fetch, which land to fetch.
Since he's divine top in particular, you can't waste mana with the top in play because
they just add up.
Yeah.
Yep.
Any small mistake is cost you the game.
Yeah. Well, it seems like you guys are running. Most of the decks are running a complement of fetch lands to go along with the fact that you get the Sensei Divining Top. You get a lot of the deck is featuring Jace now a lot of times.
I don't think I've ever run a countertop deck with less than 8 fetches.
Yeah.
In Philadelphia, Grand Prix Philadelphia ran 8 exactly because there's only the 2 blue fetches at the time.
Right.
But ever since that, we have 9.
Nice. Well, guys, say your opening draw. What are you looking for in those initial 7 cards? So it's fairly standard. You're not sure what your opponent is playing, but you're looking for a solid starting 7 cards. Top is the most important card.
If this deck goes turn 1 top, turn 2 counterbalance, like on the play, for example,
yeah,
it can just crush so many decks. But besides top, you want some early action, like a Force of Will or a Swords to Plowshares, just to make sure whatever your opponent's doing, you don't just die to it.
Right.
Yeah, but really looking for either a Force of Will and McCoy forces or Force of
The deck, as you said, has a lot of very difficult decisions, a lot of opportunities to make little mistakes. What are some of the common pitfalls that people would fall into while playing the deck? I heard you say something about, proper timing for cracking fetches. What are some others?
Yeah, the fetch is big because with the top out of fetches, 3 new cards.
Right.
So you should almost never crack a fetch if you have a top or you're going to play a top. Or even if you don't have a top, you should wait on your fetches. Brainstorming correctly.
There are also some situations with fetch in which you have to fetch, but sometimes you just don't because you have top, and then you have to use that mana, and you end up having to shuffle some good cards away. So it's really hard to play that in a specific moment.
Would you say experience in the format has got to be fairly key, especially if you are tapping out for a counterbalance and you've had an opportunity to set your deck, knowing what cards to leave on top for that effective blind counterbalance?
That's pretty huge. Like when you go end of turn brainstorm on tap counterbalance or something like that.
Yeah.
Like when you don't have a top. If you're on the play, it's easy. Mostly you're just going to want to put a 2/1 top because they haven't had 2 mana yet. On the second turn, they're going to play a 2-drop. But later in the game, it gets very tricky. You have to figure out what you want to play around. That sort of stuff.
Yeah.
It's not as much about the format, but about what they are playing. If they link with Misty Rainforest, you have no idea what they're playing.
Right. But the experience can help in that direction also. Obviously off of the basic Misty Rainforest, you're not going to have any clue really. But
with the format, after seeing almost any 2 cards, you should know most decks. I think Misty Rainforest, into Trop Noble Hierarchy, could be a bunch of different decks, but Island Aether Vial is going to be Merfolk. That sort of thing. There's a lot of signs you can point to. Then again, one of my opponents went Underground Sea Brainstorm, and I thought he might be combo with any Dazed Me, and he like wasn't. So you know, they're tricky openings.
Yeah, another opponent, he played Brainstorm, Seas, and then he gave me 5 Mind. And to actually beat that, I had no idea what was showing down.
Yeah,
because I could have gone for like Jace to beat Emrakul, or Land to beat 5 Mind, and I had no idea what he was doing.
Yeah. Well, guys, what is the nightmare opener for your opponent to make? Something you just absolutely don't want to see. Lane Vile.
Gemstone Mine Putrid Imp.
Gemstone Mine Putrid Imp?
Can't beat Dredge Game 1. Can't really beat it.
But that's what sideboards are for, right? You guys came packing and prepared. Don't need to know what. Yeah, I like that. Nice look.
I mean, our Blissasian passed. My point just played Blissasian last game.
Oh, nice.
You don't have a needle?
Alright, well guys, appreciate you taking the time to talk to me. Would you guys recommend if a person had an opportunity to, I mean, we basically got another year or so before there's another domestic Legacy Grand Prix, or there's all the Star City games, like open tournaments that are going on. I mean, this seems like a very strong deck to take with you into the field, especially because it's got such ability to adapt to whatever the format is.
Like, the only cards you're locking to playing are like Counterbalance Top, Brainstorm Force Wall, pretty much Swords to Plowshares. I don't think we've ever played without swords.
Yeah.
You don't even have to play Tarmogoyf. Like,
like
we've always ended up playing it, but there is the blue upper deck. So like, and you get to play a bunch of fetch lands, so you can really play any amount of colors or even just 2 colors. Like, it's a good deck to learn. It'll give you a lot of basic skills for your Legacy in general.
Yeah. All right, well great. I appreciate that, guys. Good luck with the rest of the term. What are you guys' records right now?
5-0-1.
So you guys have done pretty well. So.
Yeah, it's only been 3 rounds.
Good points. All right. Well, good luck the rest of the time, guys, and hopefully we'll see you throughout the rest of the weekend.
Sounds good.